But it was really weird because people wouldn't like me if I was really nice to them, because kids are like that. It was very hard on our family because my dad has to stay in Texas and work. There's a lot of fake people out here, if you don't know. I was kind of losing myself at the moment, but I was only like 12, so you know, wasn't too worried about it.
Hi, this is Lauren Engel of Sidewalk Talk today. I'm here with Jenna Rainne.
Hi!
So you're originally from Texas, is it Dallas?
Yeah, Dallas, Texas, yes.
Are your parents from there initially?
No, my dad's from Chicago, my mom's from Canton, Ohio.
Oh,
so, yeah.
So what made them move to Dallas?
Well, I think my dad's job was in Dallas, so then he moved there. And then my mom just ended up moving to Dallas because she wanted to be in Dallas. I have no idea why. She was like, I just have a desire to be in Dallas. And so they met there. And funny story, they met at the gym. They're both like workoutaholics. And so like I just remember the one memory that my mom has that's like very clear is him calling her by the wrong name. He called her like Carmen instead of Carla.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how they met in Dallas.
What do they do?
My dad is in like senior housing and stuff and real estate, and my mom is just a mom. Yeah.
Where do you think got your creative side from then?
I definitely got it from, I don't even know. Both of them can't sing. My mom can actually kind of sing, so can her mom, my grandma, Nana. And then my dad's dad, I never got to meet him before he passed, but he had like, he was really good at the drums or something.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's probably where I got like my instruments and stuff, and then I think I got my singing from my grandma, Nana. Yeah.
What kind of music were your parents playing around the house when you were growing up?
Well, my sister Jessica was always the one in control of the music, so we were always listening to like early 2000s stuff, like Fergie or Rihanna and Mariah Carey, like the normal stuff that was current. So yeah, I never really listened to like the old music. So yeah.
How would you describe yourself back then growing up?
I was definitely an angel child, as they called me. I was very goofy. I've always been, always will be. And I loved singing. Like, I was always singing around the house. It's so weird. And I always, I was very adventurous. Like, whenever I would go outside, I just had the imagination of, I don't even know. I had the biggest imagination. I would picture that I was like in a jungle whenever I was in my backyard, and I would just make up songs on the top of my head. I was a very, very weird child, but I don't even know how to explain myself. Yeah.
How did you, you kind of just randomly started singing, just couldn't stop, right?
Yeah.
And dancing.
Yeah. Well, I had always been in love with singing. Like, my family would always be like, Jenna, sing a song for everyone. And I'd kind of be nervous about it, but then secretly I was very confident, even though I wasn't amazing. But I started, singing for my friends and stuff. And I remember one time in 3rd grade, someone was talking about a talent show. And I just remember them being very cocky about it. They're like, oh, I'm like a magician or something. And I was like, oh, well, then I'll join. So then I was like, I'll do the talent show. And so I did.
Rolling the Deep?
Yeah. I sang, did you hear it? Yeah. I sang Rolling the Deep by Adele. I was like, hey, Mom, I want to join the talent show. And she was like, oh, really? She was just thinking in her head how mean kids could be if I was totally bad.
She was stressed about it, right?
She was so stressed out about it. And I was like, yeah, Rolling the Deep by Adele. I'm going to sing and play the piano. And she was like, oh, really? Before I even said that, she goes, what's your talent? And I was like, I'm going to sing, duh. And so, yeah, that's how I started. And then I started getting singing lessons once I was 10 years old. So, yeah.
Did you like school growing up?
I actually did love school. I was a very social butterfly. I was a socialist person. And I loved school because I was kind of friends with everyone. But it was really weird because people wouldn't like me if I was really nice to them, because kids are like that. But I loved school. I was never really not a fan of it, and I love math and writing and poetry. That's how I got into songwriting, so I loved it.
So you naturally did well in school, or did your parents kind of want you to study really hard?
No, I actually did really good in school. I never needed to study extra or anything. I mean, now I'm doing Spanish, so I need help with that, but other than that, I'm pretty good with schooling and stuff.
What else did you do in your free time growing up?
I was actually a athlete.
Oh.
So yeah, I played softball for like 10 years before I started singing, and I'm really into sand volleyball. I play dodgeball with my softball friends now and then at like trampoline parks just to like bring back memories. It's really fun. But in my free time, I just always was playing softball or I was playing the piano. It was one or the other. I never really had a bunch of free time to hang out with friends. So yeah, I was either with my teammates or people from like Septian Entertainment Group, which is where I get my lessons and stuff. So I kind of lost my friends from school after I went homeschooling, so because I didn't have much free time.
So what made you decide to go homeschooling just to do?
Well, I started going to LA a lot more, and I made my first audition, and at the school that I went to, I could only miss 18 days, and then I would have to do summer school. And so my mom thought it would just be way easier to do homeschooling. So I did homeschooling. I'm a social butterfly again, so I was like very like depressed and just in a really bad state of mind doing homeschooling because I mean I didn't see anyone, and I stopped playing softball, so like I literally had no friends. And then so my mom like looked up some places that I could do like a co-op or like see other kids that do homeschooling, and there's this place called PAC in Dallas, and everyone does fine arts. They sing, dance, and act, and there's like lessons after we do academics all together. So I still go to PAC now. I have a bunch of friends from there, and it's really fun. So I enjoy homeschooling.
How did you persuade your mom that you wanted to do like singing or acting as a career?
It was really hard. I mean, everyone kind of knew that I had a thing for singing after I did my talent show, and I like begged for singing lessons. And we have a family friend that was actually friends with Demi Lovato, and she's from Dallas. So we asked her, we asked Demi where she got lessons, and she told me Septian, and it was a really good place. They've like done Selena Gomez, Beyonce, like a bunch of big artists at the moment. And so my mom was like, okay, like I'm kind of iffy about it because like, you know, she just kind of wants to live a normal life. But my dad was very supportive in it, and he totally convinced her to let me go to singing lessons. So that's how we persuaded her, was me and my dad. Teamwork.
And what was the next step? Like, how did you meet people in LA?
How did I meet people in LA? So I made my first audition for like this Lego Friends thing, and I made it into a girl group called L2M. Still best friends with them.
Yeah. Did you find out about the audition online, or like how did you even know about the audition?
Septian, where I went for like lessons and stuff. And whenever I went to do the audition, my mom actually wasn't gonna let me do it because it was Thanksgiving break, and we were supposed to go to Ohio to see her family, and we only see them like twice a year. So she's like, I'm not going. And then my dad was like, fine, I'll stay back. And so we ended up doing the audition, and I made it, got the call back. Did that, made it into a girl group. We did like TV show. I started meeting a bunch of people because my friend Tati is a dancer. She's like really big in social media, so like she knew everyone, and she just introduced us to everybody. And I have a bunch of friends here in LA. And so yeah, and then I started working on my own songwriting and singing, and just kind of met people on the way.
What was it like going from just doing sing lessons to having kind of like a whole full production girl group, like having all these meetings?
It was pretty weird. Like once I hopped into the deep end. It was really hard for like, I was 10 at the moment, so it was pretty hard for me to like process all the meetings and all like the management and like contracts, crazy stuff like that. But I'm very mature for my age because I have 4 older siblings, so it was kind of not new to me because I've kind of always dealt with trying to act older and stuff. So I kind of found it fun to like be a young adult at 10 years old. I mean, I kind of struggled with it at first, but now I think it's literally normal for me. Not a problem.
Were your parents ever worried of you joining the girl group or being pushed into the limelight at such a young age?
They were totally into it. I think my mom was a little bit hesitant because like it was very hard on our family because my dad has to stay in Texas and work, but he'll come out for the weekends and stuff when we're in LA. Like these next 2 months I'll be in LA for like 6 weeks, and so we won't see my dad or my family much, like my nieces and nephew and my siblings. So yeah, that was kind of why my mom was hesitant, but other than that, we were totally down for it. They knew that it was my dream to become a singer, songwriter, and a performer, so they were totally up for it. And honestly, my parents are very supportive because I've had this dream like literally ever since I was a kid. Whenever I listened to music, I would always like act like I was making music videos and stuff, and I always film myself singing. So like they knew that it was just kind of meant for me, and this was my like time to just get out there and do it. So they were very supportive, and it really wasn't much of a problem.
How long were you in the girl group for?
I was in L2M for about 4 years. But then I started working on my own music, and that's what I wanted to pursue. But I'm still best friends with all of them, actually. Like, I see them all on Thanksgiving, and they fly out to Ohio to see everyone, because Mackenzie is from Ohio. And then I see Tati. I saw her, like, 2 days ago. I hang out with them all the time. It's so weird.
What did you feel like you learned most from being in the girl group?
I learned a lot in, like, collaborating with people, because we all had to work together as a team, which was really cool. So I learned a lot from that. Like, further in my career, I'm sure I'll like end up doing collaborations with people in like music and stuff. And so I'm so used to having to work together with other people that I think it would just be really easy to like collaborate with people I don't know very well. And also softball helped with that, because like, you know, you win as a team and you go down as a team. So I learned a lot from being in a group.
Looking back, what do you think you could tell yourself before you joined the girl group?
To not let people like change you, because I would like meet new people, and like I don't know, there's a lot of fake people out here if you don't know. And so it was really hard for me to be around like that area, and I'm like a very nice, like genuine person, but it was really hard to deal with those kind of friendships. I went through a lot of like hard friendships that kind of broke off, and so that was really hard on me, like mentally and like personally. But yeah, just I wish I could have warned myself who was coming into my life. So yeah.
When you started your own solo project, were you writing a lot of songs by that point?
Yeah, I was. I started songwriting like 2 years ago at Septian Entertainment Group, and I got lessons, and it was really fun. Like, I'd always have a love for poetry and writing, so it kind of just came to me, and I'd always been making melodies up in my head since I was little, so I kind of put those two together, and like, voila, it kind of came to me. But I definitely have a love for songwriting. It's like one of my favorite things in the world, and it's kind of how like I cope.
And how did you meet the people from the solo work that you're doing now, like producers? Or...
So I have a team called Crowdsurf, and they help me with all of that. I wouldn't have these connections if it weren't for them, so I'm so grateful for them. But I also did meet a lot of people on the way, like just connections, like random people that would know someone. It's kind of hard to explain, but I just kind of ended up knowing a lot of people.
How did you meet Crowdsurf?
How did I meet Crowdsurf? Whenever I was in the girl group, that's who they used, and then I started using them.
Yeah. How do you think your music has changed since the early songs you put out?
It's definitely changed. I mean, my music taste changes all the time, like my taste in music, so it also changes how I write and how I want to write, and also the production and stuff and the songs that I want to put out there. So I think it's kind of a learning process, as well as I'm trying to find my sound, because I don't think I found it yet, and it's really hard. It takes years, and like I feel like Ariana Grande, like people like that, Shawn Mendes, Camila Cabello, like they've been in this industry for years, but I think they like kind of just found their sound. So I know it's gonna take a while, but yeah, my music taste definitely changes a lot, and so does my music. So, but it's nice because it varies. So.
How did the YouTube Red, is it Hyperlinked?
Yeah. Came about, I think me and the girl group, we all did an audition, and they wanted 5 girls who could sing, dance, and act, and we could all do those things. And so it kind of worked out perfectly. They totally told us, they're like, yes, you're in. And so we started scenes like automatically, and it was my first thing for like acting and stuff. So it was kind of weird, like just hopping into it. But I'd also kind of done some like acting classes here and there, so it wasn't too bad. But people told me I kind of had like a natural thing for it, which was cool. So then I started like pursuing in that. So I started doing like acting auditions and stuff all the time.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So when you were growing up, it never clicked to you to do acting, or how was it?
Well, whenever I grew up, I don't know, I'd kind of always been like an actress. Like, I remember one time my dad accidentally hit me in the head, and I wanted ice cream so bad because it was so hot outside. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can just cry right now. So then I started bawling.
Oh my gosh.
And then, I don't know, it's just very easy for me to cry on the spot. And like stuff like that. And it's, you know, sometimes you need to act like you want to be somewhere when you don't. So I feel like I always had a knack for that. And I mean, I'd kind of always been doing some acting skits on my own, and I didn't even realize it. but it's pretty natural for me. Like, it's easy for me to memorize lines because it's easy for me to like memorize lyrics too in a song. So like everything kind of like evened out. I don't even know. It just kind of happened.
Do you think you'll be trying to get into more acting, or you just want to focus on music?
I'm staying in LA for 2 months, 6 weeks for acting for a pilot season, which is when they do all the pilots and like the auditions for pilot season. So it's like how like there's a first episode in a show, it's called a pilot, so there's going to be a bunch of auditions for me to be able to do, but I'm also working on my songwriting the next 6 weeks, so I'm kind of doing both. I definitely want to pursue in both, so I'm trying to make it work.
Do you have a separate team for acting, or how? Or are you just kind of doing on your own?
No, I do have a management. Her name's Bonnie. She's the best manager ever. She does like the Sprouse brothers, like Cole and Dylan. She does Zac Efron. She does a bunch of people. She's the best. I'm actually going skiing with her this weekend. Nice. Yeah, but she helps me a lot with getting like help and stuff. And I also have an agency, CAA. They're really big, so they're very helpful with that and getting me auditions.
What clicked to you to do musically? Do you still do it now or not really?
I don't really do it much anymore. Yeah. I loved it whenever like I did it though. It was just really fun for me to get my goofiness out and also to be able to just like sing my heart out, sing my heart away. I love doing like the little challenges and like the fun little skits like that you'd get to do for like the comedy stuff. I wasn't big on like I think I did try like, you know, like trying to be all cool and stuff. I tried to like be like fancy, but I was only like 11 or 12, so wasn't really like to that stage yet where I was like into makeup, so it was a rough start. But I kind of loved it. It was just really fun, and it was a great way to like get my personality out there to my listeners and like my fans. Yeah.
And you still do YouTube now, right? Or?
Yeah, I still do YouTube. I'm putting more of my like music out there, like my music videos and like lyric videos and like live videos, which I'm coming out with because my EP's coming out. So I recorded a bunch of live versions for that are going to come out on my YouTube, so I'm really excited for that, so people can like actually hear me sing live, like, because I went on tour and I like felt really bad for the people that, you know, obviously couldn't see me, because there were a lot of people that were like, man, I really wish you would have come to my like state or my country. And so now I feel like if they watch the videos, they'll just like feel like they're there and they're at tour. So yeah, that's what I'm going to start putting up on my YouTube. But I also do like challenges and vlogs sometimes whenever I feel like it.
What's the inspiration behind your EP?
Inspiration. It's definitely, my whole EP is all about me and like all my experiences that I've gone through, and I'm almost 15, so like I haven't gone through much, but it's all about like family, friends, boys obviously, my dreams coming true, and it's a bunch of stuff that's really important to me because I don't know, it's really hard like being in this industry, so there's some songs that are about that, and I wanted to make all of the lyrics relatable, and like I wanted all the melodies to be able to like sing along very easily for like my listeners. And I mean, most of my crowd is like younger, like my age, and so it was pretty easy to like reach out to them in a way. And there's another song that says we don't gotta do it like them, and it's about how you don't have to fit in. And I think that's really important to a lot of people because a lot of people try to change themselves whenever they just want to be themselves. So it's hard to like find yourself whenever you lose yourself. So that's what that song's about, and I'm really excited for people to be able to sing along to that whenever I perform. But yeah, I'm really excited for my EP, and it's just a little taste of what I want people to get of me as a singer-songwriter.
What do you find difficult at the industry that you talked about in your lyrics?
I definitely find it difficult to, I don't know, keep away from the people that are kind of toxic. Toxic's a very strong word, but just the people that take me from who I am. And I kind of lose myself sometimes around people, and so I definitely try to stay away from those kind of people and those kind of like personalities, because there are some like tough people out here, but that's definitely what I'm talking about in that. And
has religion always been a big part of your life? Because you grew up on, like gospel music and stuff.
Yeah, I grew up on Carrie Job. That's why I love Tori Kelly so much. She just came out with a gospel album, which I think is awesome. And I've been a huge fan of her, like even like 5 years ago whenever she just started coming out with music. So I thought that was really cool that she came out with a gospel album. But I had always grown up in a church, so it's very important to me to like just not lose who I am and just remember that God is with me through every step of the way. So that's also very hard. Like out here, I've been looking for a church and stuff to like go to with friends, and I finally found one, so that's great. But it was really hard whenever I was like out here for like 2 months straight, and I just felt like I was kind of losing myself at the moment, but I was only like 12, so, you know, wasn't too worried about it, but I got back. I'm here.
Have you ever considered doing gospel music, or you just mostly want to do
I have actually.
Yeah.
I definitely love gospel music. I've written a few like Christian songs, like Christian-based songs, but I haven't come out with them. It was just like me personally writing, like just on my piano or whatever. I've definitely thought of it. I probably will, maybe whenever I'm older or something. I'm definitely not like thinking about it now because I want to put out the stuff that I'm working on. Like, I'm really excited. I just wrote like 2 songs this week and I'm super excited. I think like this whole year I'm just gonna be like releasing music, but I'm sure at one point I'll write like a Christian song or like gospel music at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What does love mean to you?
Love to me means like a bond that's unbreakable. I mean, it can be breakable, but that's just like love. But to me, love is friendship and family. I mean, I've never fallen in love before, so I can't say that. But with my family and friends, those that I love are always there for me. And no matter what I do and the mistakes that I make, they're always there, which is nice. But it's always nice to have a shoulder to cry on. So that's what love means to me.
Last question, what do you want to be remembered for?
What do I want to be remembered for? Ooh, I want to be remembered as kind of a light and something that can just bring someone's day up. Like, I just always want to put a smile on someone's face. So I hope that I put a positive impact on everyone.
Yeah, I love that. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Bye, guys.
Bye.